like mind in Jamaica.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Connecting the Jamaican diaspora abroad and at home.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Yes, both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story, highlighting the positive role of the Jamaican diaspora. Both sides of the story.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Time now for Both Sides of the Story, the story of Jamaicans at home and Jamaicans abroad on Power 106 FM. We will not take sides, but we listen to your side. Stay with us as we explore the issues, present the facts, speak with the experts, and as always, listen to both sides. What's your story? Tell us on Both Sides of the Story by calling our local numbers 876-922-4112-5. You can listen to Both Sides of the Story on the Power 106 FM app via the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, as well as on onespotmedia.com. Plus, listeners in the USA can dial 631-359-8281 to listen. And if you're in the UK and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, you can call 0330-606-0953. You can watch Both Sides of the Story live on Dervan Malcolm Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at BothSides106. Email BothSides106@live.com. Send your WhatsApp voice notes, audio messages, and text messages to 876-365-3346. Remember, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to Both Sides of the Story.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
Isn't it strange that princes and kings and clowns that caper in sawdust rings and common people like you and me are builders for eternity? Each is given a bag of tools, a shapeless mass, a book of rules, and each must make, ere life is flown, a stumbling.
Who are on the road must have a code that you can live by, and so become yourself, because the past is just a goodbye. Teach your children well, their father's help did slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams, the one they picked, the one you'll know by. Don't you ever ask them why, if they told you you would cry, so just look at them and sigh, and know they love you. And over the years, I know the things that your elders grew by, and so please help them with your. They see the truth before they can die. Teach your parents well, the children's hell will slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams. The one they fix, the one you know by. Don't you ever ask them why. If they told you, you would cry. So just look at them and sigh, and know they love you.
(2021 to 2030 is the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, the Decade of Action for Road Safety, and the UN International Decade of Indigenous Languages. It's the 11th day of the 9th month of 2023, the International Year of Millets. A millet is a cereal grown in warm countries and regions with poor soils, bearing a large crop of small seeds, which are chiefly used to make flour. 2023 is also the International Year of Dialogue as a guarantee of peace. Put another way, it's the 11th day of the 9th month of the 2023 North Atlantic hurricane season, and the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida, for the North Atlantic, Caribbean Sea, and the Gulf of Mexico. Looking at some active systems, the National Hurricane Center is issuing advisories on Hurricane Lee, located a few hundred miles north of the North Leeward Islands, and on Tropical Storm Margot, located over the central subtropical Atlantic. So a couple of systems to keep an eye and an ear out for, so that we make sure we are prepared and ready to take action should the inevitable happen. So let's bear that in mind. Otherwise, weather-wise, here in Jamaica, the National Meteorological Service tells us there's a weak trough across Jamaica. The weak trough is expected to remain across the island over the next few days. Remember, when you hear of a trough, expect some kind of unstable weather, whether cloudiness, rains, thunderstorms, etc. But this trough is not as strong, it's weak. So the National Meteorological Service here in Jamaica says there's a weak trough across Jamaica, and the weak trough is expected to remain across the island over the next few days. This afternoon will become cloudy with showers and thunderstorms across southern parishes and some hilly areas elsewhere. Tonight will become partly cloudy across northern parishes. And again, the other current regional weather features are Hurricane Lee and a Tropical Storm Margot, both located across the North Atlantic, while an induced trough induced by Hurricane Lee is across the Eastern Caribbean. The month of September is still being observed as Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month, Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, National Senior Citizens Month, Employers Month, Alopecia Awareness Month. Alopecia refers to partial or complete hair loss, baldness. September is also Travel Agents Month, and according to Tasty Cheese, Cheese Month. It's Catalan National Day in Spain, Liberation Day in Cosre, Pohnpei in Micronesia, Qaid-e-Azam Jinnah's death anniversary in Pakistan, Patriot Day in the USA, and Rastafarians around the world are celebrating New Year's Day. Hoy es lunes el 11 de septiembre 2023 y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. C'est lundi le 11 septembre 2023 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service pour une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue.
So just look at them and sigh, and know they love you.
All you're saying is it's Monday, the 11th of September, 2023, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
Them on your dreams, the one they fix, the one you know by. Don't you ever ask them why. If they told you, you would cry. So just look at them and sigh, and know they love you.
You know, my late mother used to say, stop make people turn you in an idiot. Or don't make nobody turn you in an idiot. I was shocked to have seen a particular branded knapsack with a particular word on it. I couldn't believe it. All I could think of was my late mother saying, stop make people turn in an idiot, or don't make nobody turn in an idiot. That's as much as we'll say on that one for the time being. Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Morant Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We acknowledge those who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States and the United Kingdom. Those in the US who wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM can call 631. Oops, look at the time. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:16 on Power 106.
Need water for agricultural purposes? Apply to the National Irrigation Commission for your irrigation services. Let's grow smart and eat smart with irrigated agriculture. Call National Irrigation Commission at 876-927-6727. Visit their website at www.nicjamaica.com or visit any of their office locations today. Irrigation, making the difference in agriculture.
The other expression I heard from my late mother was in relation to the term papi show. Yeah, papi show. You stay to make people turn you in a papi show. There's another expression that is appropriate. If you don't know what we're talking about, ask somebody who is in the know. But we don't want to give too much play to that, because that would be helping those individuals to achieve their objective of getting some form of publicity or another. We're not going to feed into that, and we're not going to fall for that either. So the numbers to call if you're in the United States, you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, it's 631-359-8281, 631-359-8281. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0330-606-0953, 0330-606-0953. Or streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to see exactly what is happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. Looking forward to your full participation. As we said, the numbers to call, 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. Keep sending those text and WhatsApp messages. We look forward to receiving them. And so, remember as well, today's Monday, and that means time for Land Solutions. Land Solutions coming up at 2:30 this afternoon. Any issues to do with the sale or purchase of land, this is your opportunity coming up at 2:30 this afternoon to get in those questions. In the meantime, a listener by the name of Knowledge is Power says, good afternoon, my brother. Good afternoon. You looking so young and fresh. It's Patrick in New York City. How are you, Patrick? It's been a while. We're hoping to catch up with you in New York City in a few days, I think. Is it days or weeks? We'll see how that goes. Tevin Johnson says, good afternoon, Dervan. Why they change the theme introduction from the male voice to a woman voice? I rather the male voice. I'm afraid because I'm at the center of that one that I will not comment on that, except to say it's a management decision. But that's what it is. That's what it is. And Kish Lindsay says, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Kish Lindsay. And Kish is checking in from London. Welcome, Kish, from London. And some of the other messages that have come in now. Let's see what we have here. Wesley M. Campbell, good afternoon to you, sir. He's tuned in and listening and watching. Good afternoon, Wesley M. Campbell. Commissioner Wesley M. Campbell. I think there are one or two more hats to get on that head of his. But I think he's somewhere in, where is he now? Maybe somewhere in the DMV, the D for Washington, D.C., the M for Maryland, and the V for Virginia. Natalie Winter says, great afternoon from Washington Gardens, Kingston, Jamaica, sending lots of love and respect for the family members and friends worldwide, and big up Power 106 family members every time. Thank you very much for your message, Natalie Winter. Velta Wilson says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners on this marvelous day. Good afternoon, Velta Wilson. Good of you to join us. Faye Weller says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and faithful listeners. I am here listening and watching. Thank you for listening and watching, Faye Weller. Hubert Fowlin says, a very pleasant Monday to Mr. Dervan, Malcolm and his listening audience. Thank you very much, Hubert Fowlin. Many happy returns. All the best. Continuing, Kish Lindsay says, thank you. You're welcome, Kish Lindsay. Thank you very much for joining us. And keep those messages coming in. Remember, the text line is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Text line and WhatsApp number are one and the same. Let's see if there are any fresh messages. Yes, I think so. Here's one from Franklin McDonald in Guelph, Canada. He says, reminders, tomorrow is of course the anniversary of Hurricane Gilbert of 1988, and today is the anniversary of Hurricane Ivan of 2004, which did serious damage to Caribbean Terrace near Harborview. Those are timely reminders, Mr. McDonald. Thank you very much for sharing. He's also shared a link to International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction. And let's confirm the day, International Day for Risk Reduction. Let's see what we have here. Somebody's trying to reach us at the same time. Hello, good afternoon. Would you like to be on the air? Yeah, hold on. Hold a moment, please. Where is the phone now? There we go. Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hold a moment, please. Turn off the radio. Where is the phone now?
Yes, you have to. Go ahead.
Yes, Dervan.
Yes, you're live. Go ahead, please. Good afternoon.
Yeah. This contention this morning in this back to school saga about this bag here, this backpack here, and the dunce thing. I think that the school administration is making a big mistake in banning students from coming on the school compound about wearing a bag marked dunce. I feel that is something that the administration is very innocent about, but it is something that our country is always losing from getting good idea to make a good impression worldwide. The word dunce does not say that the child is dunce. It is just a style of bag, you know. What you have to say about it?
It's a reflection of where we have come, where we are. It's indicative of where we are and who we have become.
Dervan, what I'm saying, you know, if a child wear a clerks to school, should that be a deterrent to learning to read and write, or it's a passage of getting done in school? We're wearing a clerks, the brand clerks.
You're asking the wrong person, because I grew up at a time when a pair of school shoes was a pair of school shoes.
And not really the brand. I've ever the school system ever do a research on the bag? John Sports.
I don't know.
Asking you, please.
I don't know.
Can I ask if you could Google that bag there, John Sports? Because over the past 10 years, you know, John Sports bag is one of the most weird school backpack in school, and no Jamaican administration have ever taken a look where that brand bag is coming from and what the word John Sport mean. I feel say if the Jamaican school system was thinking, I am a principal of a school and I found out that my student is wearing Mark Dunce, what I'll do is provide 2 classrooms and name it the Dunce Massive or the Dunce Student class. I don't care which class that person is in. If that person is in 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, or 10th grade, everybody is going in one class. And Dervan, you know what I'll do? Treat them as a dunce child. Reason I'll say that is they are wearing a dunce knapsack to school. So I'll treat them as a dunce by, in that class, I'll have teacher to teach them to spell cat and rat and bat and sat and ask them 1 and 1 plus 1 equal. Put in the missing word B blank T, and anybody don't get over 90% cannot get no lunch time and no break because you are wearing a bag that depict that you are a dunce. And for the economy, could the Jamaican government think of monetizing that word there, dunce?
We have to, sorry, we have to take the break now for Land Solutions. Sorry about that. Thanks for the call. Please call us back after Land Solutions at 3:30.
Okay, sir.
All right.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30. Your favorite nighttime talk show, Dear Pastor, is now at a new time, 9 to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday. Join Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas as he answers your questions and entertains conversations on a range of issues. Spice up your evening with Dear Pastor here on Power 106 FM, Monday to Thursday from 9 to 11 p.m. It's nighttime talk radio at its best at an earlier time. That's Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas, now at a new time, 9 to 11 p.m., right here on Power 106 FM.
It is a Monday afternoon, just after 2:30, and that means time for Land Solutions. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4113-5. 876-922-4113-5. The text line for Land Solutions is 876-881-5254. 876-881-5254. The website is landsolutionsja.com. Land Solutions J.
876-881-52 differently. I want to surrounding land matters, state matters. So when I say dispel myths, I want to address certain issues that I find people are constantly getting incorrect, or they think something should go one way, but it is actually another way. So, as always, feel free to call or send your messages with respect to any issues or questions you have related to land or estate, and especially for today, if there's something you're not quite certain about, or if you thought something went one way, but you recently found out it goes another way, or if there's something you want to clarify, feel free to contact us. So the first myth. A lot of people still think, or they are of the belief, that a will comes into effect as soon as it is written and signed. Incorrect. A will comes into effect after the person has died. A will speaks from the grave, so to speak. So don't just think that once someone writes a will, they've willed you their property, that it automatically becomes yours. No. The person who has made their will, they can change their minds as many times as possible, because a will only comes into effect after a person dies. And in fact, after the person dies, the will still has to go through the formal process of probate and then application to the stamp office to pay the estate duties. So again, a will comes into effect after death. Another issue concerns powers of attorney. Many people still think that a power of attorney lasts forever. No. A power of attorney only lasts during the lifetime of the person who has made it. So think about it this way. A power of attorney lasts for life, and the will comes into effect after death. So because some people believe that a power of attorney lasts forever, we find that some of them say, all right, I have a power of attorney, or I've given a power of attorney to John Brown, so I don't need to do a will, because John Brown will know what to do after I die. You couldn't be more wrong. Power of attorney is just while you're alive. Will comes into effect after you die. So if you have a power of attorney and you die today, it ends today. And under Titles Act is to cover property. It must reference the Registration of Titles Act. It must have the volume and folder number of the property at least. And of course, an attorney or a notary public overseas will not know this. So a lot of clients come to us and they say they're upset because obviously they would have spent their money and now they can't use a power of attorney. So my advice to you is, if you're wanting to do a power of attorney, or if you already have one and you want it to be used for your property in Jamaica, ensure that it is done by a Jamaican attorney so that it's valid. See it happening too many times when people just end up wasting their money and they may have to just do a whole new power of attorney in Jamaica. As I touched on the issue of persons making a will, not being not obligated, I should say, to leaving something for someone, leaving something for a relative in their will, it follows for relatives, you are not automatically entitled to gain from that person's estate. I probably shouldn't have to say it, but I want to be extra careful. So don't just think that because you're a son or a daughter, once your parent passes, that the house belongs to you. Let's take an example. Let us say the house is owned by your father and his sister, and they own as joint tenants. If daddy dies, the house isn't yours. If daddy dies, the house now belongs to his sister because they own as joint tenants. And for persons who own property and you do not know how the property is owned, if you're listening to me now, stop what you're doing, go and check how the property is owned. If you can't find the title, if you don't have it, if it's in someone else's possession, if there's a mortgage on it, and you can't readily access it, you can get a copy of it at the National Land Agency. That's the titles office. It costs $500 or $1,000 to get that copy. But nobody should own property. Nobody's name should be on a title, and they don't know how it is owned. Because let's say your name is on a title as joint tenant. You, John and Mary, are on title as joint tenant. 922-411-325, and the text and WhatsApp line 876-881-5254. This is Land Solution.
You're listening to Pearl 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
Come to Tip Friendly Society, the friendly society of choice for all employees in the education sector. We provide savings, loans, and insurance for you and your family. Principals, starting September 1, cover your students with attractive personal accident benefits for a competitive premium of $325 per academic year. Tip principals, do it now, and your students will thank you. Please visit our website at www.tipfriendly.com for more details. Parents, improve your child's performance with the Children's Zone, a treasure chest of learning and fun, all in one place. Captivating stories, mind-bending puzzles, amazing discoveries in every subject area, and developmental activities. Each issue of the Children's Zone is the door to endless learning and fun.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4113-5. 876-922-4113-5. The text line for Land Solutions is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-881-5254. 876-881-5254. The website is landsolutionsja.com. landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja, facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findlay and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office upstairs, Shop 6, the JN Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. All are encouraged to call ahead instead of just turning up at the law offices of Brown, Findlay and Company. The numbers to call, 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Once again, we hand you over to attorney at law, Calicia Findlay, and we do have a caller for you, Calicia.
Thank you, Dervan. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon, how may I help?
Yes, my question is, I'm trying to figure out if you can find if there is any result in finding out who really has owned a land from like a long time. Like,
Yes, you can do a title search. So you go to the titles office, you give them the address, you pay $1,000, and if there is a registered title, you will get a copy of that title, and that will have the owner's name and address. That's if there is a registered title.
Yeah, but what I'm asking if it can be a follow-up, like from before slavery, after slavery.
Yes, so the title will give you the complete history of the property. However, if you want to go as far back as you're contemplating, you can do a search at the records office. Because back then, like in the 1800s and the early 1900s, deeds would have been recorded at the records office. So you can try both places.
Office.
Pardon me?
Do you have any idea where is the record office?
The Island Records Office? Yes, they are downtown and they're also Spanish Town. But you can just look online or look in the directory, search for the Island Records Office.
Okay, then. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
You're very welcome. Take care. Again, our numbers to call in live on air, 876-922-411-325.
Another one for you, Felicia.
Thanks, Dervan. Hello, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Johnny, good afternoon.
How may I help you today?
About the parcel of land that my mom died and leave. So Miss Laura gave to me a number. No, not a number. Lawyer name, but I don't have all the information. So if you could...
Okay, because I think I sent it to you again. Hold on. Don't hang up. I'm going to just message the producer right now, and they will tell you that person's name, all right? But I also message you, so check your messages. Again, our numbers to call in live on air, 876-922-411-326. And our text and WhatsApp number, I should say, 876-881-5254. Let me go over to WhatsApp. How is it possible to make a will when you don't own property? Good question. You actually don't have to own anything to make a will. And that's one of the reasons why many persons say they're not making a will because they don't own anything. But my question to you is, what if you end up owning something and then you don't get the chance to make a will? And sometimes what happens to the circumstances surrounding your death may result in money coming to your estate. So let us say that you die, unfortunately, you die tragically in an accident or any other tragic way. your estate may be able to sue someone, and wouldn't you want to determine or dictate what happens to that money that's coming in? So you don't have to own a house, you don't have to own land or car to make a will. And in a case like that, you can just do something simple and say, I will all my property to my sister. I will all my property to John, Mary, and Susan. As simple as that. And it will cover everything. So you don't have to own property. And it is best to be prudent because you never can tell what may happen. I see it happening so many times where persons want to make a will, or sometimes they even have a change to make to their will. And when their time comes, they're unfortunately so ill that they're unable to think clearly. They're unable to even sign a document. So do it while you can. And another myth too.
Sorry, remember that myth that you're going on to, Calicia. There's another call for you.
Another call? No problem, Dervan. Thanks. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Calicia.
Afternoon. How may I help?
Right. My father died leaving a will in 1985. And to date, the will has not been probated. The executors are all retired and has shown no interest. I have a copy of the will. What should I do?
Are you a beneficiary?
Yes, I am.
Are you getting something in the will?
Yes.
Okay. You can go ahead and make the application, but before we get there, I'm assuming you would have reached out to the executors and asked them to get started. What is it? Tell me some more about the executors.
I've reached out to them and they have shown no interest. They are, all of them are over 65 now.
Well, as the beneficiary, you can make the application and we can have the executors give up their executorship. Just a formal document that they sign that will be prepared by the attorney. And as the beneficiary, you now have the right to make the application.
What's the procedure? How do I know you make the application?
How what? I'm sorry, you broke up. What's the procedure to make the application? Hello?
Hello, are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you now. Repeat your question. You're asking what's the procedure to make the application?
That's correct.
You would retain an attorney, and it's similar to an application for probate, except that it's called letters of administration with a will annex. So the application would be made by an attorney to the Supreme Court, and at the same time, we would file the revocation of the executor, saying that they have no interest in applying for probate.
Okay, what I have is a photocopy of the will. I can make an application using that.
Where is the original?
The original, one of the executors said he has the original, but for some reason he can't locate it. He can't go to retrieve it where he has it.
All right, well, we could try to take a quick retrieve, but if we can't retrieve it, we'd have to get a special order from the court first to use the photocopy. And then once the court grants that order, then we can go ahead and make the application with the photocopy.
Okay, so is it that I will now need to visit your office so we can discuss it further?
Yes, certainly. You can keep listening. We'll say the office numbers, or I'll just have the producer give you the office number. Then you can give me a call tomorrow.
All right, thank you. I'll keep listening.
You are welcome. Yeah, man. Take care. Again, our numbers to call in live on air, 876-922-411-325. Text and WhatsApp line, 876-881-5254. To call us in office, the numbers are 876-908-1950, 876-908-3518. The myth I was going to address is with respect, again, to wills. Persons still believe that if someone is disabled, if they're blind, if they can't read or write, that they cannot make a will. Incorrect. You can make a will if you are blind. You can make a will if you can't read. In fact, we have, as I remember as a young law student, our minds were blown because there are several cases on this issue. You can use a thumbprint. You can use a stamp that represents your name. And as many of you will know, you can simply mark an X if you're unable to read or write, or if you can't see. In fact, any marking at all can suffice as a signature. So any marking that you intend to be your signature, it doesn't have to be something as flashy and fancy as I'm sure Dervan has. It could just be a little X. It could be a little crab toe like what I have. Anything that you intend to be your signature suffices. So don't think that, oh my goodness, I can't read, or grandma is blind, daddy is blind. It don't make any sense. Who makes a will? You can go ahead and make a will. What else? Oh, the main one. I probably should have started with this, but if you're a frequent listener, you should know this by heart. So you can come and say it with me now. Paying property taxes doesn't make you the owner of the property. Paying property taxes doesn't entitle you to make an application for the title. Don't know how many more ways to say it. But just for the benefit of those who have never heard it before, when you're making an application for title, it is what we call an adverse possession application. It is possessory title. So you have to show some form of possession. What is possession? Possession has to do with physical acts on the property. Either you live there, you rent it out, you take care of it, you push it, you fence it, something of that nature. But just paying the property taxes isn't enough. If you're sitting there paying property taxes thinking you'll become the owner, you're really just enriching the government. If you are making an application and in the application all you say is, I've been paying the property taxes for the last 20 years, the application is going to be rejected. So you have to show possession. And for title applications too, a lot of persons believe they don't have to apply for a registered title because they have a survey and the survey is in their name, a survey diagram. Survey diagram is not a title. It's not conclusive proof of ownership. It's simply that, a diagram. It shows the size and the borders and the outline of the property. And we use the survey diagram to make an application for a title. So survey diagram is not a title. Just because your name is on the survey, just because no one objected when the survey was done and it has been approved by the National Land Agency, does not mean that it is a title. You now need to follow up with a title application. This is Land Solutions.
Contractors, developers, and small builders. Contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high-quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is
3 o'clock.
Shareholders in Railway Jamaica Limited, please be advised that our next annual general meeting will be held on Thursday, September 21, 2023, at the Terra Nova All Suite Hotel, 17 Waterloo Road, Kingston, commencing at 10 a.m. Notices of the meeting, along with a cover letter and the form of proxy, have been mailed to shareholders in Jamaica as required by our rules. You can download the full annual report document from our website, rjrviewinagroup.com/publications, or the website of the Jamaica Stock Exchange. You can contact our office via WhatsApp, number 876-860-7921, and share an email address if you'd like the annual report sent to you by email. Alternatively, you can collect a copy of the report at one of our offices at 32 Linders Road or 7 North Street in Kingston, 23 Orange Street in Montego Bay, Shop 16 Point Plaza in Orchard, St. Anne, or Shop 9 Midway Mall in Mandeville, Manchester. That was a notice to shareholders of Railway Jamaica Limited regarding the upcoming annual general meeting scheduled for Thursday, September 21, 2023.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4113-5. 876-922-4113-5. The text line for Land Solutions is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can send your text messages and your WhatsApp messages to 876-881-5254. 876-881-5254. The website is landsolutionsja.com. Landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The law firm Brown, Findlay and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. We're encouraged to call ahead before turning up at the law offices of Brown, Findlay and Company. The numbers to call: 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Once again, here's attorney at law, Calicia Findlay.
Thank you, Dervan. Over to WhatsApp. This person has two questions. Can a minor's name be added to land title? And second question, I don't have any money to do a divorce. He went about his business from 1985 and I don't have the money to get a lawyer. I'm assuming you're asking what can you do? All right, so the first part, can a minor's name be added to a land title? Yes, but. So yes, a minor's name can be added to a title, but once you have a minor on a title, and for our purposes, meaning for Jamaican law, a minor is anybody under the age of 18. Once you add a minor's name to a title, the registrar of titles automatically puts a caveat, a block on the title. So we sometimes dissuade persons from adding a child's name to the title because if they want to sell it in the future, if they want to mortgage it, the property that is, they can do nothing until the minor attains the age of majority, 18. And once the minor attains the age of majority, the minor has to consent. So let us say you have a child on the title, they're now 15, you want to sell it, you're waiting till they're 18, and you feel like, yes, they're now 18, I can go ahead and sell it. Not quite. The minor has to agree. So you can't say, all right, this is my child, I put them on the title, they didn't pay any money, I can just go ahead now and do whatever I want with the title. No, that person on the title, your child, is a co-owner. So whatever you want to do, they have to agree. If they disagree, I've seen it happen, there's nothing you can do. You may have to end up in court trying to remove their name, and it's not always easy to do. Second party, so you don't have any money to do a divorce. He went about his business from 1985 and you don't have the money to get a lawyer. I would, you can retain a legal aid attorney. You still have to pay something, but it's much less than what you would pay to a private attorney, and you can always pay in installments. So go ahead and seek the services of a legal aid attorney. And let me just say to listeners out there, I know attorneys aren't cheap, but if you have an urgent need, if you need to get some business done, at least go and consult with an attorney, because you'd be surprised. You can pay in installments. You can go to a legal aid attorney. Gloria and I volunteer at the Bethel Baptist Legal Aid Clinic in Halfway Tree on Saturdays. There are many options, and many churches, other institutions, the Legal Aid Society of Jamaica, they all have legal aid clinics across the island. So don't just think that you're stuck and not able to do any legal business. Continue with WhatsApp. My mother and father are joint tenants on their title. My father passed away in 2012, and his name is still on the title. Is there a penalty if his name remains on the title and it's not removed? That's a good question. There is no penalty. If it's the matrimonial home, Then once you are removing his name from the title or noting his death or applying for probate, depending on how it was owned, then you would pay no estate duty. So once you show that property was the matrimonial home of the person, we get what's called a nil assessment. If it is not the matrimonial home, if that person's share is valued less than $10 million, then you also don't pay any estate duties. If, however, so again, there's no penalty, just not doing anything, not applying to note the death. If it's a matrimonial home, no estate duties. If that estate is worth less than $10 million, again, no estate duties. If it is not the matrimonial home, and if that person's share of the estate is more than $10 million, you have to pay estate duties. Estate duties are 1.5% of the value of the estate. If the estate is settled more than 1 year, if you're paying the estate duties more than 1 year after the person died, then you have to pay interest. It's not a penalty per se, it's interest that you pay if you're settling the estate after a year. So estate duties, 1.5%, and then the interest on that, 1.5% is 6% per annum. So someone died in 2015, and you're just now getting around to sorting out their estate in 2023, you're going to have to pay interest from 2016 up to 2023. To get our numbers to call in live on air, 876-922-41135, text and WhatsApp line, 876-881-5254. And if you'd like to speak to us in office, the numbers are, and that's Law Offices of Brown, Finley and Company, 876-908-1950 and 876-908-3518. Does a will have to be probated before the beneficiaries can get their share? Yes, yes, and yes. And again, if you were listening to me at the top of the program, I said one of the myths I was dispelling is that a will only comes into effect after the person dies. And even after the death of the person, the will must be probated. And what do we mean by probating? The word probate comes from the word prove. So you're proving that the will is actually valid and authentic. An application has to be made in court for that. Once the court does their due diligence, they grant an order saying, yes, this will is valid, it is now probated, probate has been granted, and you can go ahead and share up the estate according to the wishes of the testator. And of course, you have to pay the estate duties at the tax office. So yes, a will must be probated before the beneficiaries can get their share. So again, for those beneficiaries who are just there sitting and waiting, you have to still wait because the will must be probated. I was given a power of attorney. The testator died without a will, or the testator died without making a will. What happens next? So, as I said earlier, a power of attorney dies. And let me just clarify some terminology. So the question says, I was given a power of attorney. The testator died without making a will. What happens next? A testator is someone who makes a will. I don't want to get too technical, but I have to clarify this. A testator is a person who makes a will. So if someone dies without making a will, we just refer to them as a deceased. They're not a testator. So you have a power of attorney, person dies without making a will, what happens? Power of attorney dies with you. So the power of attorney ends automatically on death. This person now, they have died without making a will, their estate has to be administered. So it's a similar process to probate. However, probate is when you make a will, and administration is when the person does not make a will. Another myth. Persons still believe that once someone dies without making a will, that the process has to go through the Administrator General's department. No, not necessarily. If there is a minor, so the person died leaving a minor child, and remember, minor is anyone under 18, the estate must be administered by the Administrator General. If the person did not have any minor children, the Administrator General does not have to administer the estate. A private attorney can do it for you. In fact, I've seen cases where people think that once someone dies, whether they've made a will or not, whether they had minor children or not, that they must make an application to the Administrator General. No, absolutely not. So again, you must make an application, or the Administrator General must administer the estate if the person died leaving minor children. So if someone comes to us and they tell us that they're interested in administering an estate, this person died and they had a child under 18, we can't do anything. Can't touch it. Only the Administrator General can handle it. I have a question in relation to development, and it's a problem I see happening. Let me read it. It's a little lengthy, but bear with me. Good afternoon, Ms. Finley. It appears that land developers in Jamaica are a law to themselves, and the investors are left to sink or swim. There does not appear to be any standard guideline where an investor is able to educate themselves as to what should happen in a transaction. Even with the retention of local lawyers, the investors are getting a take it or leave it option when they are not given what they should receive. A friend of mine had to install a brand new kitchen. The closing is running 2 years behind, and there are more issues. When are individuals such as yourself going to come together and press for standard guidelines in this sector? Oh boy, thank you. Thank you for this question. It is certainly an issue that we have. Whether you act for the developer or whether you act for the purchaser in a development, it can be quite frustrating, especially on the part of purchasers. So there's a new construction. The title is ready to be transferred in the purchaser's name. The developer is now ready to pay the balance, but when the purchaser walks into the unit, it's not completed. I know of a case recently where someone paid over their money. When they went into their house, the kitchen was a shell. Could even be the same person. There was literally nothing, no cupboards, cabinet, nothing was installed. And I'll get back to that shortly. This is Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15. Here is a financial literacy tip from your friends at Power 106 FM. Understand, it's in your power to have a positive relationship with money. A change in our financial situation starts with a change in how we think about money. Clearing out any negative feelings like insecurity or fear about money can help remove the blockages that may prevent improving your financial well-being. Your relationship with money is not fixed. It's one that can evolve over your lifetime. 3 important things about the psychology behind your relationship with money. Money is about emotions, not just finance. Anxiety or avoidance of money issues may create a vicious cycle, and your upbringing may affect how you manage your money. With awareness, insight, and knowledge, you can start working to make empowered decisions about your money.
It's the final segment on today's edition of Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4113-5, 876-922-4113-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number for Land Solutions, 876-881-5254. That's 876-881-5254. The website is landsolutionsja.com. Landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law offices of Brown, Findlay and Company can be found in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. All are encouraged to call ahead before turning up at the law offices of Brown, Findlay and Company. The numbers to call 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. On a Thursday between 10 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon, there is some extra special treatment in terms of land-related matters. Extra special treatment between 10 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon on a Thursday. In other words, you can make an appointment and prepare to see one of the attorneys on duty on a Thursday morning between 10 and 1 in the afternoon. Between 10 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. So you're encouraged to take advantage of that opportunity as well. In the meantime, though, we still have a few more minutes to go. And here's an opportunity once again for those of you who've been wavering and maybe a little shy to come forward, whether to call or to send your messages. Now would be a good time with just about 11 minutes to go before the end of today's edition of Land Solutions. So get in those questions. 876-922-4112-5. Those are the numbers. But in this instance, it's 876-922-4113-5. 4113-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-881-5254. That's the Land Solutions text line and WhatsApp number, 876-881-5254. Let's hand you over once again to Attorney at Law, Calicia Findlay.
Thank you, Dervan. Continuing with that message, someone is asking what's going to be done about developers, and they mentioned an instance where someone bought a property or entered an agreement. The agreement is 2 years, or the completion of the sale is 2 years behind. And another one where someone bought a new property and they have had to install a kitchen. It is indeed an issue that we are facing. It is very frustrating, especially for purchasers. And the challenge we have is that most sale agreements specifically state that the balance will be due once a certificate of practical completion has been issued. And a certificate of practical completion is basically a document from an architect or the quantity surveyor saying that the property is practically completed. But what has been happening is that these certificates have been signed and issued and the properties are not completed. So one thing that needs to be done is that there needs to be some penalty brought to bear on these architects and quantity surveyors who are issuing these certificates when the properties are not ready. Purchasers too, or I should say purchasers and their attorneys should try to negotiate more specific terms in the sale agreement. So you could have a clause saying that the purchaser must inspect the property before funds are paid over. There's a challenge with that though. You see, because the demand for housing and the demand for property is so high in Jamaica. The developers can say, listen, I'm not including this clause in the contract, you take it or leave it. Because they know that they'll find another buyer soon enough. And invariably what happens is that the purchaser takes it. Remember also, when you're buying in a development, you have a warranty period. Usually it's 180 days after you take possession, and the developer must fix any issues that you have. So you have to keep pressing the developer. If nothing is done, you have the option, last resort, of taking them to court. And let me just also say to developers themselves and to their attorneys, please, as much as possible, try and deliver the product that was advertised. It is so disheartening when a purchaser is shortchanged. They've spent their hard-earned money only to get shoddy workmanship. And especially too for purchasers overseas, it puts us as Jamaicans, the sector as a whole, it puts us in a bad light, because many persons are saying this would never happen in X country. But of course, I'm trying to come back to my homeland, my beloved homeland, and this is the product I'm getting. So yes, there needs to be work all around, and hopefully that will be addressed soon. Good afternoon. Is a spouse automatically entitled to half of the home? Not necessarily. So, as many of you will know, we have the Property Rights of Spouses Act, which says that a spouse is entitled to a half of the matrimonial home, where the relationship ends or where cohabitation ends. So, the key term is matrimonial home. That act defines the matrimonial home as the house where both spouses live, and it is also the house. It must also have either one spouse's name or both spouses' name. If it has someone else's name, if it has one spouse's name along with a third party's name, then it cannot qualify as the matrimonial home. So even if it is a house that you call a matrimonial home, it has the wife's name and her sister's name, the husband is not entitled to a half of it, even if they have lived there for a long time. Not entitled to a half of it under the Property Rights of Spouses Act. So, for those of you who are moving in to your spouse's house, ensure that your interest is protected. And by that I mean, double check who's on the title. If it's your spouse's name along with a third party, know that it can't be the matrimonial home. So have a discussion, get your name added to the title. It is an uncomfortable discussion, yes, I know it is, but it is a necessary discussion. Too often, spouses are living in a house, they spend their money fixing it up, only to find out that they have nothing to get. And remember too, with a recent decision, you cannot seek to get a half of the matrimonial home after your spouse has died. That case law now says if you want to get a half of the matrimonial home, you must bring that action while your spouse is alive. So act quickly, please. Something that just came to mind too is the issue of family land. As I was discussing matrimonial home. In Jamaica, we all know, or we all have family land, and we know what we mean when we refer to family land. Persons believe that all family members are entitled to family land, so they can come and go as they please. Persons may be living overseas, they come there, they believe that they can come and go for every vacation. It is a tricky subject. Just because property was owned by your great-grandfather doesn't mean that you automatically have a right to it. So what happens invariably is that you may have a relative living on the property. So yes, you come and go, you visit, you and your other relatives come every Christmas, summer, when a party, event, that's where you stay. But what will happen is that you may have this one family member who has lived there for the past 30 years. And just by virtue of living there, undisturbed, nobody has ever tried to get this person out, what happens? This person can now make an application for the tax saying that this property belongs. Yes, it's a tough pill to swallow. So be careful when you're talking about family land, because what you may think is your family land or your family home now belongs to your cousin or your brother or sister who has lived there for the past 30 years. So unbeknownst to you, this person may now have title in their name.
Alicia, well, let's see if we can squeeze in.
Have a call?
Yes.
Let me try.
Okay.
Thanks. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Ms. Cindy, and for our notes. Yes.
How are you? How may I help?
Yes, I would like to find out if the thing when it calls stamp duty, if it's here once a year or every time the property sells.
Every time that the property is sold.
Mm.
And stamp duty is just a nominal sum. It is $5,000 and it is shared between the seller and the buyer. So each person pays $2,500.
So as many times for the year, that's still...
No, actually, you just pay stamp duty when the property is being sold. So if it is sold once every 10 years, you just pay it that one time. What maybe you're thinking about is property taxes. You have to pay property taxes every year. But stamp duty, you just pay it one time when you're doing a transaction with the property, like selling it or giving it away. And when you're giving it away, the property, when you do the deed of gift, it's just $100. All right?
That's still valid.
Pardon me?
Let's say you sell a property one property sell 2 times for the year, 2 times you pay for the year.
Yes, correct. Yes.
Okay, I understand.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling. You're welcome. Can you shed some light on joint tenants and tenants in common in relation to whose name is on a will? With joint tenancy, it is a survival. With the joint tenancy, if you will your share, it won't be valid because only the survivor will take. On that tenancy in common, you can will your share to whoever. So with joint tenancy, the survivor takes all. With tenants in common, you can will your share. When you're thinking of buying property or owning property with someone and you want to choose a tenancy, ask yourself this question: what would I want to happen to my share when I die? If you want the survivor to get it, maybe joint tenancy is best for you. If you want to be able to will it to someone else, tenants in common. If you're not sure, go with tenants in common. Because if you want the survivor to get, you can then still will it to the survivor. So if you're not sure, tenants in common. Thanks so much for tuning in to this edition of Land Solution. I think I'll do another edition when next time on dispelling common myths with respect to land law. Thanks as always for tuning in. Thanks to Dervan and the team at 106. I've been your host for today, Calicia Findlay. Take care.
Help us protect Jamaica's borders. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
3:30. Your favorite nighttime talk show, Dear Pastor, is now at a new time, 9 to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday. Join Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas as he answers your questions and entertains conversations on a range of issues. Spice up your evening with Dear Pastor here on Power 106 FM, Monday to Thursday from 9 to 11 p.m. It's nighttime talk radio at its best at an earlier time. That's Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas, now at a new time, 9 to 11 p.m., right here on Power 106 FM.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world, taking your calls on 876 922 411 2 to 5. 876 922 411 2 to 5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can also call us on WhatsApp. That number is 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. Let's get through as many of these messages as possible now, shall we? Where are we now? Let's go with this one. Good afternoon, Dervan. Why was us taken in SSL? SSL has over $30 billion in it. Why is this money not being used to pay the president employees as was done in Cash Plus? Could it be that ministers of government and other such persons have interest in this financial entity? I am very curious as to why the money that the company has is not being used to pay for its affairs. The money that is now being used could better be used for social services and supports. The money, although it is proceeds from crime based on what the minister has said, it has become government revenue and should be used as such and for such purposes. I am so disappointed in this government. I do agree that the economy is not being managed badly, but the incidence of questionable activities and decisions plaguing this government is too much and occurring too regularly now. It must stop. In bold letters, STOP. Thank you very much for your message. This one from Rohan Johnson of Atlas Ocho Rios. He says it's Rohan Johnson from Atlas Ocho Rios, endorsing all first-time listeners clocking into your program. Big up yourself, Sir Malcolm. Thanks for your message. Horace, otherwise known as Spider, says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. The NNN news about the parking lot shut up. Why are they pointing fingers so fast? How do they know that it is not a love triangle gone bad? What happens to the camera? Wasn't there any camera in the parking lot? If there is, why not release the footage so the public can help in the investigation? And a next thing, the man who was held for Dr. Bloomfield's murder was a no-face man. Don't the police want to find him? How come we don't see a picture of him? And why ain't the PNP asking these questions? How the PNP just left it up so? If they are sleeping, someone needs to wake them up. Neville, otherwise known as Salah, says, good afternoon, Dervan. You seem to be joining the foolishness about the backpacks. What is wrong with a child, or if some children want to carry an expensive backpack for those who can afford 11,000 and 20,000? I don't know how you got to that point. I don't know how you got there. I don't remember saying anything about 11,000 or 20,000 and children carrying expensive backpacks. I said no such thing. Anyway, the rest of your message. If they carry a backpack with dunce written on it, what is wrong with it? If their parents can afford to find this kind of money to purchase the 11,000 and 20,000 bags, what is the matter with this? Some people may be more comfortable with seeing the children carrying garbage bags to school. Why are some principals against these backpacks? I don't know. What if those children are very bright children? Somebody could say very bright children would not be caught in that light at all. But anyway, the rest of your message, what, and their backpacks has dunce written on it. Are you going to deny them of their education? I think that the government needs to step in and not allow these principals stopping my child from learning. It's a backward step in time like this. Don't know what a backpack has to do with the children learning. The government need to something is missing here. Learning the government need to something. Salah from Kingston. Thank you very much for your message. Salah from Kingston. Let's see now. I'm not sure if this message was the one that I had the opportunity to listen before the break. Let's see. Let me just double check.
Malcolm, good evening. What I've been saying at this time, good evening to every individual and your listeners. Keep up the good work. Mr. Malcolm, I had that problem here. We are living in St. James at, I don't know if you know, Ginger Hill.
All right. Let's see. Apparently, the WhatsApp recordings, I don't know. I don't know if they are somehow speed. Well, I don't know. The speed is a little fast. Let's see if our listeners can follow.
Mr. Malcolm, good evening. What I've been saying at this time, good evening to every individual and your listeners. Keep up the good work. Mr. Malcolm, I had that problem here. We are living in St. James at, I don't know if you know, Ginger Hill, Orange Hill, Stonehenge, Bottom Stonehenge, Marchman Road, right to Catadupa, Cambridge, that area. We as citizens here, we would like to find out from Digicel and Lime, if they could have some station in Ginger Hill or in Catadupa or Cambridge, like a USA, for we can hardly use WhatsApp in these areas, Marchman Road and all these places. The system is very low. If I should call somebody in Kingston or text somebody, they don't get that text or they don't receive my WhatsApp call more than once a blue moon. So we're asking the relevant authority if they could do something about that area for us. As I say, from Ginger Hill, Orange Hill, Stonehenge, Bottom Stonehenge, Marchman Road, Catadupa, this area. Please, I'm asking you to call one of them and see what they can do, what they do for us. I would appreciate that. And you have a wonderful day now, and thank you.
All right, that's from Bunty. It's a different one from the one earlier on that I listened to off air. Let's see.
Mr. Dervan, Malcolm. Pick up yourself. Anyway, what I have to say, because you generally know this is Bunty, right? Mr. Malcolm, I asked you to read through scripture the other day, and I heard when you say you have to examine the Bible before you play it. That's all right. See what you want to say. What I would like to find out from you now is to call those who lawmakers. The lawmakers, you know one for you much intellect more than me. You have a PhD, I don't have one. But the little knowledge that I have, I try to share it. Right? So this scripture that I gave you, I was listening to you, read them, I did not hear you read them. Like you've been pushing it to them aside. I don't know if it's an APC or what. You only assume that it might be. For people know you know more God, you know. And even the churches, you hear them about God, blah, blah, blah. You know, Mr. Malcolm, what Bible say, no? But you know, study the Bible like me. I mean, I have no knowledge, it's stupid. Let me tell you that, I'm stupid. But when it comes to think about what the Bible teaches, you know, the Bible talk about loving him, God, you know, himself. With all our heart, mind, body, soul, loving neighbor. Which part you see people love neighbor? They only see how might be what they can get fine, you know. Right? Like these two politicians. They don't try to work as one and remember say, if you win tomorrow, I see people them you have for dealing. And there's nothing you can do for these people. But them please. For everybody have a rope. Some drawing that way and some drawing the other way. They don't try to have unity with one another. You're all in this bashing one another. You see it? And we same people. We are the same people that they're governing over. So what I'm saying, Mr. Malcolm, what right do a lawyer have for you live a Spanish town? You do something in Spanish town. And come to commit murder, but them say you're guilty of something, right? Put it anything you want to say you're guilty. And they're going to say, you know. I am a Kingston to go live. You have to come a Kingston, you know, farm away. So this Islamic, and so you take for instance, you want anybody house, you know, that's Spanish town. So when you left your Spanish town house and have to go to Kingston, who look after your house or take care of your house? We don't like to call up the Islamic because they have to find out what kind of stupidness that, you know. So they gang leader, and they say them know all the gang leader, they can't bring them to justice. Or the extortion of them, they can't find them, but they only tell you how much of them, and yet they can't find them and for dismantle them. But you as this citizen trying to live on somebody might accuse you of something. They will have you like on a bandit and a rich man. But you can pay money. You won't go to the house arrest and stay house. You see, let me tell you something, man. Them people are them breed criminal. Like the policeman, we say, man, pick him up a ferry, that's a suspect. Him, I'm going to lock him up in a lockup, right? And after I lock him up in the right, I'm going to pay by about him business and tour. But I'm going to look for a girl. And with that man, they're frustrated over nothing. But I'm going to call him family. They're frustrated. And they're thinking evil. And them people are breed criminal. You see it? When I like to call up the lawmaker, they ask them what kind of business that is. or go back to the drawing board and see what they are dealing with. So with a ball we have no love. And mankind, ruin mankind, make mankind in a minute, pain and injury. So anyway, yeah, listen to your comment, come on, man. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
What I've been saying at this time, good evening to everyone.
Thank you very much, Bunty. We hear your messages. To some of the other messages that have come in. Let's see. Where do we are? Let's pick it up right here. Calvin in North York, Ontario, Canada, sent us a message. Here. This one says, greetings. Has anyone... Greetings. Oh, come again. Let's go up. Greetings. I think that when a man of advancing years decides to fire his pistol at a much younger target, he should make sure that the weapon is unloaded or that the target is wearing a bulletproof vest. That way, his life will be less complicated. From Crocs in Black River. Then he goes on to send us another message. He says, greetings. Has anyone heard any official statement from the police re the shots fired in the vicinity of NNN? Normally, in such instances, there would have been a quick response, but up to now, nothing from them. From Crocs in Black River. Thank you very much, Crocs in Black River, for your message. Let's go to... that's from Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine, shouting out to all the listeners as usual. Thank you very much for your message. The numbers to call, 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, so you can send your text messages and your WhatsApp messages as well as your voice notes, and you can call us on WhatsApp as well, 876-365-3346. Albert in Coconut Creek, Florida says, Sir D, greetings to you and your audience from 35,000 feet heading south over the Atlantic Ocean from the Northeast U.S. to home. Safe travel to you and all the others on board. Albert in Coconut Creek, Florida. Safe travel. Well, he's not in Coconut Creek, Florida right now. He's 35,000 feet in the air. All right. Thank you very much for that update, Mas Albert. Thank you. More in a moment.
For any project, ABC Electrical Sales has all your electrical supplies at the best prices. 8 Hagley Park Road, Kingston, 754-3714. The time by ABC Electrical Sales is
3:45.
So just look at them and and know they love you.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Honorable Abraham, you're doing good. But that's good and bad, you know.
I hear you.
Where's everything?
We're giving thanks for life as usual. How about you?
Oh, you're giving thanks to the mighty life giver, you know.
So it should be.
Holy Manuel, yeah.
Rastafari.
Let me talk in Dervan.
Yeah.
And the subject of the
the city in South Africa. You just called me. Yes. Dervan.
Yes. So good to hold up on the city in South Africa. Anyway, from me I say the country, you know, this SSL, Prime Minister, most and everybody have money in there. At you, when you draw out something like that, you hear something about that?
In the early days of the SSL saga, we were told that a couple of government ministers or other significant individuals had accounts there, and those accounts were closed. I think 2 years before or more or something like that.
Okay.
Mm.
So this SSL from 96, it is non-divided enough. CLS, you know about CLS? CLS take over from SSL from in the 90s. So Prime Minister Andrew Willis and his colleagues them who draw to the money outside. No have one from long time. You know? No see CLS around thing a new management take over from SSL. Like that SSL get bankrupt, you know? Some problem to CLS take over. You know, so them to tell the nation what one. You know, like that they on a piece of land and a man sell out the land with the money. So that's how reach the people then. The poor man have feel it every time, and the Prime Minister and his colleagues them don't want, and the chief speaking one. When you and the Finance Minister, the speech is spoken about like white men. You know, and tell the nation the truth. Tell them to SSL is none and right from 1996. A key LS around things. Different management. Why?
I don't see any information on CLS. Where you get that from?
All right, check it out. TLS.
Oh, T, not C.
No, TLS.
TLS.
Yeah, I want you to check it out and play it to the audience. You can, you don't know that in the car to talk about. You can say, but Prime Minister Andrew Willis and the Finance Minister to tell the nation and the church. You know, then can't go on.
I don't see anything relevant to that. What I'm seeing here is just words and terms. Transport layer security. I'm sure that's not it. TLS.
Yeah, man, it's TM1, man.
Really?
Yeah, transport layer security.
Awesome. That don't have anything to do with SSL.
SSL.
Also, where you get that from?
Yeah, man.
Not this one. No, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that.
SSL versus TLS. Check out that. And you get the information. SSL versus TLS. SSL. No one right from long time.
I think you have the wrong information. You hear? Hello? Well, he has disappeared. Sorry about that, but I think you have the wrong information there. Thank you for the call nonetheless. 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hello? Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. How are you?
Good afternoon. And you?
Oh, Mr. Malcolm, that is very new. You see, what I cannot understand, Mr. Malcolm, with SSL. Is the government, are they going to bail it out, Mr. Malcolm?
At this stage, we still don't know what outcome we're likely to when the dust has settled.
Malcolm, but if the government ever tried then to bail SSL out, and the amount of road and the amount of the hospital, everything are short of funding, how is that going to work, Mr. Malcolm?
It's a matter of priorities, and if that is the approach, then the right thing should be done.
Yeah, but Mr. Malcolm, when SSL is making a profit, do they hand anything back over to the taxpayers?
Well, if you count the taxpayers who had money there and benefited on their investments, well, there's your answer.
Mr. Malcolm, I just can't get my head around this one at all. It's a really tough, this one is a really tough call.
Yeah, well, the people are not sleeping, you know, despite what some people think. People are wide awake and they are taking note of what is happening around them. And no doubt at the appropriate time, they will act accordingly.
Yeah, Mr. Malcolm. So, Mr. Malcolm, may I ask you another question? Is SSL, is it a or is it a building society? Because there is as you know, there's a difference between...
No, not a building society. Not a building society.
It's a bank.
It's a financial institution.
So that means that shareholders are involved.
Yes.
Oh, I see. So I wonder if it's a matter of satisfying the shareholders.
Well, that's part of the responsibility of the management of any enterprise that has positioned itself as this one has.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm, but if it's that institution, Mr. Malcolm, they should really take responsibility of what's going on. And as said, they cannot really rely on the taxpayers to bail it out, because whenever they've been bailed out and they start making a profit, I don't know how the taxpayers going to get anything out of it.
Yeah, well, that now has to do with the decisions that will flow from what has been found, what has been discovered, what are the facts in relation to how things have unfolded, etc. It's on the back of that information that we will come to find will manifest the ultimate outcome.
Oh, well, Mr. Malcolm, all I can say, we will watch your space, yeah?
Indeed.
It's very nice to meet you again, Mr. Malcolm. Take care then, right? Yeah?
Thank you for calling. All the best.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, sir.
Okay, bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Let's go back to the caller who had called us earlier on, but we had to break for Land Solutions. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling back.
Yes, Dervan. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I was planning to have a dialogue with, but it seems like we are having more like a monologue. What I was saying, right? The principal of the school should leave the children to their own embarrassment. Like if they're wearing a bag that is labeled dunce, what the principal should do is just have like a certain section of the school, a few classes labeled as dunce class. And whosoever wear those back to school, don't stop them from coming inside of the institution. Just direct them to the class labeled dunce and give them lessons for dunce or backward individual, like giving them like certain word to spell and certain mathematical question to do, instead of turning them back. And the next thing I'm saying, Mr. Malcolm, we in Jamaica, we don't let our children try and lead this country to prosperity. We always try and beat them down, because I'm saying, right, suppose there is an industry in Jamaica, we could manufacture those knapsacks instead of we buying certain backpack or knapsack from abroad like John Sports. A John Sport backpack is very, very expensive, you know. The Dervan. Eh?
Well, obviously there are more than enough people in Jamaica who can afford to buy one. That's why they buy them.
Yeah, I'm speaking about the knapsack that is labeled as John Sports. Do we in Jamaica know where exactly those bags are produced, or if that word John Sport have any infinite meaning? And our kids is wearing those bags labeled as John Sports. Can you define that word, Dervan, JANSPORT?
Yeah, you can Google that from your phone. That's an everyday. That's a simple thing. Let's Google it and you'll see all the information.
Yes, but Dervan, it is more easy to turn back a bag that is labeled as dunce. Is it?
Well, you'll have to go and talk to the teacher or the principal who did that.
Yes, Dervan, but you know is a man of influence and principal will listen to you. If you
I wouldn't have a need to speak to the principal. The principal would have a need to relate to the students.
Mr. Dervan Malcolm, is it that a very bright child can have a dunce knapsack on their back? Is it?
I don't know. I haven't done any research on that.
Yes, Dervan, you can have your bright child and him prefer to wear a bag label dunce. That is just style, you know, the Dervan. And Jamaica is short of people who are thinking, because we Jamaican could produce those bags and export abroad. Eh? Isn't that true?
You're free to do that, of course.
Yeah, instead of we importing back like John Sports, we can trade.
Do you realize that every time you use the word John Sport, you are advertising John Sport? You realize that, right? Every time you use the word.
No, but said time we are still advertising dunce.
Do you get a percentage every time you sell one of those? Hold a moment, please.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock. Here is a financial literacy tip from your friends at Power 106 FM. Educate yourself. Take charge of your financial future and read a few basic books on personal finance. It is helpful to develop a basic investment vocabulary. It's also important to understand some basic investment principles, such as risk and reward and asset allocation. Once armed with knowledge, don't let anyone take you off track. Whether a significant other who encourages you to waste money or friends who plan expensive trips and events you can't afford. Research professionals like financial planners, mortgage lenders, or accountants before utilizing their services.
Yes, sir. So you have a contract with the company that produces those bags?
No, what I'm saying, you know, the van.
Yes.
A child sometimes can lead the way, and children can lead our nation to prosperity, you know. Is that the government can trademark that word dunce?
That's not, no, the government is not. The government is not into that business. The government is not into that business. That's not government business.
Some private sector manufacturers can monetize that word, guns, and we in Jamaica can benefit because it is a word coming from a Jamaican artist. Although it sounds.
What are you talking about?
The word dance. That is the problem, you know. That is the problem why the school is turning back the student with the knapsack because the knapsack is labeled dance on it. And the knapsacks are selling. Isn't it?
More power to those who have money to spend that way.
Dervan, you see, you see most ice cream and most thing that tastes good.
So just a reminder that the origin of this word dates back to the 16th century.
Yeah.
16th century. Originally, an epithet for a follower of John Donne's Scotus, whose followers were ridiculed by 16th century humanists and reformers as hold on a man, wait, don't be too anxious. Won't be too anxious. Don't be too anxious. The origin.
Yeah.
The origin, hold on. Early 16th century, originally an epithet for a follower, and let's just define the word epithet, just so you can properly contextualize. So epithet, epithet, it is an adjective expressing a quality or attribute regarded as characteristic of the person or the thing mentioned. So for example, you say the monarch is often known by the epithet the Great, and so on. All right, so let's get back to the word spelt D-U-N-C-E. The origin is the early 16th century. That's the first thing. Originally an epithet for a follower of John Donne's, D-U-N-S, Scotus, S-C-O-T-U-S, whose followers were ridiculed by 16th century. In other words, people used to laugh after them. Ridiculed by 16th century humanists and reformers as enemies of learning. They were seen as enemies of learning. Are you there? Is he still there? Hello? I think he has, well, something has gone wrong. We're not hearing him. Sorry about that. Please call us back.
No, I'm here, Dervan. I'm here, Dervan.
Yes. So that was the name given to those who were regarded as enemies of learning.
That is the word dance.
Yes.
And the meaning of John's words.
No, that's just a bad company.
So the word don't mean enemy of learning.
That's correct. So if that's what people want to celebrate, they're free to celebrate.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. And sometime we have to put the word in the operating theater.
Hello? I think you're having connection problems there. All right, that's sorry. I think eventually he lost his connection, but feel free to call back, not a problem. Right, so we'll repeat for the record the origin of the word D-U-N-C-E, dunce. Origin, early 16th century. Originally an epithet for a follower, sort of a curse word of sorts, for a follower of John, John, Duns, Duns, Scotus, Scotus. Why? Because his followers were ridiculed. John Duns Scotus. His followers were ridiculed by 16th century humanists and reformers. They were ridiculed and seen as enemies of learning. Enemies of learning. So who wants to be an enemy of learning? Over to all those who are tripping over themselves in that regard. Let's see now. Let's go up the line here. This is another message. Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I would never, under any circumstance, buy a knapsack for my child with the word dunce written on it for my child. That would mean my child doomed as a dunce. If my child was slow in learning, I would help him to improve rather than declaring him or her to be a dunce. And that's from Mr. Binns. Thank you, Mr. Binns, for your message. H. Morgan in Birmingham says, hi, Dervan. I hope all is well. Just a question of interest. The Raskabi, who always calling on your program, is he the one who sings the song called Discrimination? No, that's Raskava, Carver, because he's a carver. That's what he is. He's an artisan. You could even call him an artist. Artisan, Raskava, Carver. Raskabi is the singer. Right. Hope you got that. H. Morgan in Birmingham. Here's another message. Good afternoon, Dervan. TVJ broke the news about the incident, CVM, by saying something is missing here, but on the face of it, we try to present the message as close to what it is at times. There are times we change certain words that would be in line with what the person who wrote the message really wanted to say. For those of us who yeah. So anyway, so good afternoon, Dervan. TVJ broke the news about the incident, CVM, by saying, as was expected, there was an attack on a media house. But if the attack was so very much expected, why at that hour of the day when workers are leaving work, there was no security personnel to challenge the lone gunman? It seems silly to me, but as they say, we're in the silly season. But I would want to look at who think they will benefit more politically from this silly act. Thank you very much for your message. Let's see who else is messaging us. Salah has another message. No, man, we read this already. What's he saying now? Dervan, I did not say it was you who mentioned the price of the backpacks. I was asking the question because it's not, it doesn't matter what's written on the backpacks. I remember when my son was going to Calabar, I was to, I, I think maybe you're trying to say he wanted you to buy him a Jansport backpack. Everything nowadays is for the hype. You just have to go with the flow. Is earth runnings, my friend. 11,000 and 20,000 are not cheap, Dervan. When people can pay 1 million to go and watch a man with inks all over his body, you don't think that they're more than duns? This is what people should be concerned about. Salah from Kingston. Thank you, Salah from Kingston, for your message. And let's see the text line. Oh, someone is saying, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I heard you say some years ago that you subscribe to National Geographic magazine. Please say if you have got the August and September yet. I'm still waiting. Sometimes the post office borrow my copy and don't give it back. I am assuming. I don't know. There for some time now, National Geographic, and I don't know if it's unique to our area, Jamaica, the Caribbean, etc. But things have changed in terms of the publication of National Geographic. I'm going to do a follow up and share the information with you, but part of it, I think, was the interruption by COVID-19. I think there was that as well, COVID-19, that impacted the distribution of that publication. But I'll do a follow up because that's what I found uh, about a year or two ago. A couple of years ago, we realized that something was off. But I'll double check and get back to you, Dennis. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15. Remember positive.
Join Dr. Herbert Gale Mondays and Tuesdays.
If you don't sit down and make an overall investment in your human resource and you keep just allowing your very best to go, you are going to end up weaker.
And tune in to Simon Crosskill from Wednesday to Friday.
The majority of people in Jamaica are good, decent, honest, hardworking people. What we are doing is we are allowing a minority to control the narrative.
Featuring The Bottom Line with Ralston Hyman, the best public affairs banter on Jamaican radio.
Everything is connected. If you have more of your people employed and you're operating at full capacity, you're supposed to be getting more output, not less.
It's Power Talk, weekdays 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Identifying challenges and finding solutions in a globalized world. Make it a date. Join us.
¿Qué hora es español? Son las 4:16. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:16. 现在几点了？4点16分. 16 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? And have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the students listening to us. all the schoolers from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable, education makes you trainable, training makes you employable, and the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Let's clear some more messages. This one from Jackson, Jacksonville, saying, Good afternoon, Dervan. So how about the singer Bounty Killer? A bounty killer used to hunt down and kill people for a fee. And how about the shower posse? They sprayed their victims with bullets, and the JLP used the same shower as their slogan. What inconsistencies from Jax in Jacksonville. Thank you very much, Jackson, Jacksonville, for your message. The screen has frozen. Ah, there we go. Here's one from Raskava. He says, the tag on the bag doesn't determine the destiny of the wearer. Rather, it's what's in the bag and the ability of the child to learn. He goes on to say, the brightest child can wear a dunce labeled bag and still get straight A's. The so-called dunce child can still get straight A's without wearing any bag, bright or dunce. Thank you very much, Raskava, for your message. Here is another. What's this now? Let's see. Screen is sensitive. Let's try again. This angle. Somebody I'm trying to find, hold on. The word, somebody has a definition here. The word dunce, come on. Sorry, device not cooperating. Here we go. So this person found this information and has shared it. The word dunce comes from a 13th century Scottish philosopher, John Duns Scotus, who we spoke about, whose resistance to new ideas and mystical beliefs inspired opponents to equate his followers, the Duns disciples, to dullards. Later, some teachers made children wear pointed paper dunce caps when they misbehaved. So let's repeat this. The word dunce comes from a 13th century Scottish philosopher, John Duns Scotus, whose resistance to new ideas and mystical beliefs inspired opponents to equate his followers, the Duns disciples, to dullards, D-U-L-L-A-R-D-S. Later, some teachers made children wear pointed paper dunce caps when they misbehaved. So that obviously similar information which we shared earlier on. Thank you very much for sharing. And this is from Flasky Uzziah. Flasky Uzziah. Thank you very much for your message. Franklin McDonald has sent us, how to access digital editions of National Geographic. Yeah, because we lost the, I don't know if we can call it a connection or whatever it was. The system by which we would normally get the magazine, the National Geographic magazine, those of us who subscribe. The system was impacted by COVID-19 and it hasn't been the same since. Franklin McDonald has now sent us a digital link, or a link to access the digital editions. and we will follow up on that. Thank you very much, Franklin McDonald. And this one says, good afternoon, Dervan. As I listen to the different talk about the Dunce saga in Knapsack, let's turn it into something positive. Could we paint across the word dunce, nah, N-A-H, and make a statement, nah dunce, during their time at the school? Text coming from JC, bless up. Thank you very much for your perspective. And let's go to this caller who has been holding for 10 minutes and 46 seconds. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for your patience. Good afternoon. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. How are you, sir?
I am fine, thanks. And you?
I'm good so far. Yes, like oh, there's a topic I just want to touch on it topic on.
Hello?
For
We lost you. We lost you after topic. You said something, another topic. Yes, go ahead.
What I was saying is that the word guns, sometimes people just searching for names to put on their product because
The call has dropped again. Hello?
the name of the service.
Let me tell you that the call has been dropping. So we have been missing some of what you have been saying.
Oh, no, what I was saying is that the word guns, sometimes they just put on a name, searching for a name with a quick search and put on that. But let's stay with there. What I like to talk about me and you see is that the one of the idea of doing maths, you have to come across the English language to do maths properly, and also involve dictionary. A dictionary using every subject, right?
Pretty much, there's a dictionary for everything. Yes.
Yeah, you have to use dictionary every subject. So in order for somebody to monitor maths and do the best in maths, they have to use dictionary and also monitor the English language very much, because maths are not just maths itself, it consists of other languages. So English language or whatever language you can use away from English. But what I'm saying is that maths entail the dictionary. That is the most important thing. And the next thing about maths, you have from 0 to 9. So when you have 0 to 9, if you learn to multiply and learn to divide, learn to add and subtract, then when you're going to do the maths, now you do all this step. You don't try to cut out none of them as shortcut and say you want to reach the answer quickly. So you don't go all the way doing maths. The formula, when you're going through the formula, you use all the steps in the formula. And it's a quick verbally you can just do your head and say that's the answer. But otherwise, you're going to go through a process. You basically go right through the whole process as a formula in order to get the maths correct in the proper form. Am I right?
Hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, man. So again, in conquering maths or doing the best in maths, you have to learn to multiply and subtract from the digit 0 to 9. Although you see the book cover of 12 times and so forth and so forth, the main idea is to cover the multiplication from 0 to 9, which 0 is very important. But you know, one next thing again, some people call 0 O. Is that right? Is that a right pronunciation if we call 0 O?
Yeah, it's a general practice.
Yeah, but I don't believe it's right, Brother Dervan. Well, for example, when you write in English,
it's usually for marketing purposes.
When you're doing maths, you're supposed to describe the 0 as 0. Am I right? Am I right?
If you're doing mathematics.
Yes, you describe the 0 as a 0. You can't say O in a 0.
Yeah, well, when you're giving phone numbers, you can say 56002 330 whatever.
Yeah, but you know the right way to say 0 though.
No, you can use them interchangeably if you want. There's no law that says you can't do that.
Yes. So again, the main thing we call about is that dictionary should be used when people does not know, understand the word and terms in mathematics, so that they can able to govern it better. That's my point.
Thank you for making your point. All the best.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hello. All right, let's read a message quick and come back to the phone line. Let's see. This one, Galloway Kevin has a lot to say. Thank you. What's he saying? Welcome back to you, Brother Malcolm, and all saints of the Most Holy to come in troublesome times. Super thanks to you, Mr. Malcolm, Christy, Jesse, and all sheep of this fold of the Lord's Christ. I found the reminder of this word of God, Hosea 5:9. Yes, it is written, Ephraim shall be desolate in the day of rebuke. Among the tribes of Israel, make known what is sure. Thank you very much, Galloway Kevin, for your messages. We have some more here. Going up the line. Nicola in Central Jamaica, good afternoon to you. Derek Morgan says, happy Monday to you, Mr. D, and your wonderful listeners. It's currently raining in Philly. Today is the 22nd anniversary of September 11 tragic attack on the USA. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. It's a call to action for the public to do what is right for the greater good. Thank you very much, Derek Morgan. Randy Williams says, feeling really dunce listening to some of the callers today. Boy. And Sheldon McKnight says, good afternoon, Dervan. Good afternoon, Sheldon McKnight. Good afternoon. And Sheldon says, a beautiful day in Toronto today. I'm listening to that caller talking about the Jansport bag, but I can't seem to get what he's talking about. But I'm still listening, waiting for him to finish. And Andrew Lyons says, good evening. Message to Mark Golding about the gunman who shot up NNN. We have some questions for Mark Golding. Words is on the street that the gunman is from wherever, and law-abiding citizens of the community can see you walking. You say if this is true. It's a bit disjointed. I'm not sure what Andrew Lyons is up to, but that's his message. More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30. Need water for agricultural purposes? Apply to the National Irrigation Commission for your irrigation services. Let's grow smart and eat smart with irrigated agriculture. Call National Irrigation Commission at 876-927-6727. Visit their website at www.nicjamaica.com or visit any of their office locations today. Irrigation, making the difference in agriculture.
Don't you ever ask them why. If they told you.
Que hora es en español? Son las 4:30. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5h. Well, the time just changed from 4:30 to 4:31. Il est 5h-29. Hiện tại, thời gian là 5:29 29 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston, 5 St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your, parents and guardians, do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hi, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you and your listeners. As a parent, I've been listening from morning about the word done and what it connotes. In moving forward and to compromise, I am wondering if the parents who, as it is in quotes said in Jamaica these days, well thinking for the advancement of the child, would have at least added me no on it, because dunce is how you call somebody in the term dunce. So they could put on it to change the whole context, me no dunce.
I see what you mean.
Instead of dunce, somebody just said, nah, dunce, and I'm saying, but that is an easy solution. What's the percentage of persons who have bought those bags when you think of the cost? Really? So if you're making a statement, me no dunce, it's a good way to flip it.
Right.
Flip the script.
Yes. I have no doubt somebody will come up with that.
Yeah, because guess
pretty
what
soon.
It could be a punishment where you find if it's a few persons buy the bag, to put on the child and say don't, because maybe that parents cannot parent or parents aren't able to control the children learning at school. So I'm tagging you. You have the people who do the punishment like that, But moving forward and to compromise, the school don't want it, and they had the money to waste, or they felt it would be good. Some it may be even a barrel bag, you don't know. And they never have anything to do with paying for it. So just put me no.
Right.
Carry the swing off.
There you go.
There we go. We're moving forward. That's my little contribution.
Thank you very much. Let's see who will pick it up and we'll take that baton and run with it.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
I don't think the vast majority of people really comprehend this whole thing about being a stunt. But when there was a music, and it was quite popular. Send me a dance. And the kind of people that I notice gravitate toward it are those who don't value education. Right? I remember way back in the 80s, a DJ come, make a song, whatever they call it, cut a tune.
Yes.
And the part of the lyrics was that teacher go college go spend 3 years, but teachers college and spend 3 years. And when they graduate, they have to take bus hour. And me just go in a studio, go bust a tune, and I drive Bimmer. And at the time, I said that was a wrong message to be sending, right? Because it goes to show that person, they don't value what education can buy. You could go to college and get your education and buy more than a Bimmer. But because all you did was go in at the studio and cut on the garbage, and because of it, you have a lot of idiots out there who listen or think that this music or something, great. They make money. You're just saying, one fool makes many. And that's what we seem to be having around. And all the people just gravitate towards negativity. Why would you, first to begin, I don't believe that anyone, especially in modern time, should look at a child and call them dunce. Because I think dunce is relative. And the person who and teachers and others who come up with the thing and calling people dunce because they can't do certain things at the rate of others. I mean, they're the one with dunce because it's out of ignorance. And I think we should dispense with that word rather than trying to put it forward as some kind of a big thing or some kind of gratifying thing to be a dunce. Right? It is what is behind the whole thing. It's not as simplistic as what people want to make it out to be. It is look at who are gravitating towards it. What is it saying? That education is that important. I was saying earlier on today, we have a serious problem in this country because we are producing so many children at the end of the school term who are not fit for anything much more because they don't take the medication, perhaps they're incapable of taking, but some of them are quite capable. But because of this negative vibration, this negative sin, and to be part of some group, bad man on need education and bad man of a school, and those kind of stupidity, right? That's about young people taking up. They are going into the school system and coming through like a treadmill without anything that of value, so that they can go out here in the world that we are living in and make much useful contribution. We are living in the time of brain, not brawn. No, we are living in a time when you need to utilize knowledge. Knowledge is power, and it comes through using your brain. I said earlier today, Africa is the biggest continent, right? Yet still, it is the most backward in terms of what have Africa so far, I was talking about maritime, contribute to the world's development, other than being like it's like a finger basket. Looking arms and from all over the place. If they can, they're talking about how many African countries are starving because they can't get grain from Ukraine. Huh? Why? China is going all over the world producing all kind of goods. It's the manufacturer of the world. Let's say India is the pharmaceutical giant, or the pharmaceutical country of the world right now. Everything in pharmaceutical is being produced in India. What are we producing in Africa and distributing it towards selling it to the world that the world needs, other than taking out our natural resource down here and taking it out and carrying back up to them all over Europe and enriching themselves while the African people living in primitive life. Primitive state, we underdeveloped. The people have to be run now in order to go overseas to make a good living because the country is underdeveloped. Because politicians are only selling out the country resources to them friends to benefit them and not educating our people, their people. And we in Jamaica, but as our education system is, we have access, right? And far too many of our children going into school and wasting their time. And then when they come out and they cannot earn a good living because they didn't matriculate or they did not try to get themselves into the where they can go outside and get a decent job. Or if they can't get it in Jamaica, go somewhere else. Because the world needs skilled people. The world needs people with skills. Not just to go scam and do all them cooking things that are going to do jobs. Right? And a lot of parents, I hold them responsible for their children's behavior. Because I wish people could have go around and come in and I come to me about why I should find out where I don't smack. I would, which part? They couldn't come to me down rubbish. I know I'm a smart, but none of my grandkids that way. I wouldn't even go down that road. Right? Because I'm not one of those who would go around and produce a woody for hand one to pick me that end up all over the place. And I said to people who I make sure the fact that I never get the kind of education and most of my students, as I said, we don't even get to high school. I decided that I don't want no picnic to go turn what this I end up not having the opportunity to excel. They should be able to go and excel at the highest level, and that comes through getting a good education. Right?
Yes, indeed.
And thank God, the two that I get, they are both of them. One is to the highest degree, have a PhD, and the other one gone through, have a college degree, and doing well. And can go further. And my two grandchildren, them and them well already. Right? So I don't have to worry about the kind of negativity that affect a lot of our people. I sick and tired of seeing Jamaican people wasting our children wasting all over the place. As if to say they don't have a mind and a brain. Eh? And I know they have the brain because when they put the mind to do evil thing and wicked, they do it. So why we don't guide them? and teach them to do the right thing so that we can excel as a people, rather than just going around like a bunch of, I don't know what, buffoon. I'm keeping up buffoonery.
Well, we thank you for sharing your perspective on this matter. We're going to take a few more calls before we wrap. Thank you very much for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hi, Dervan. This is Keisha.
Welcome, Keisha.
Yeah, I completely understand the sentiment of the last caller, and I understand that it's almost like a knee-jerk reaction, because if a child or a parent is proud of being done, it automatically means you're proud of being a criminal too. That's how it reads in my head. Like how do we not understand how one begets the other, right? How one becomes the other. So I completely understand the sentiment, but I'm pulling myself back from the emotions and from just the knee-jerk reaction to see how did we get here? How we get to the point where a parent doesn't understand the deep meaning of being proud of being done. How does a parent get to that point? And then understandably, if a parent is at that point, then a child automatically, I think, is going to be at that point. Mm-hmm. So while I think collectively as a society we ought to stop it, and I think the school is where we're going to catch a lot of it. So I think the school is correct to try to stem it. Mm-hmm. I think the bigger picture I think came out in his analogy with the teacher, with the song that he brought up, the previous caller brought up, to say the person who is singing the song is making a point that he can make more money than a teacher who goes 3 years to college. Mm-hmm. That's not the songwriter's fault. It's all fault collectively. Collectively, we have paid the teachers poorly, and collectively, we have paid the songwriter more. So we are collectively buying into certain values. We have collectively bought into the fact that being done is a good thing. We have collectively done it. So much so, a child, an innocent, impressionable child, so much so we're investing time and resource. I'm investing a conversation now to talk about don't. Mm-hmm. It is a very unproductive, never-ending thing that we're doing, but we are collectively doing it. So I understand the knee-jerk reaction, but what it is causing me to do is do some introspection. As a parent, it is forcing me to do some introspection, and I'm hoping that as a society we do that introspection too. And I love the analogy. I'm gonna go back to his analogy, where a DJ can brag the same and make more money than somebody who chose to go to college. That stage was set by us collectively.
One moment, please. Say some more after the break, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45. Here is a financial literacy tip from your friends at Power 106 FM. Protect your wealth. If you rent, get renter's insurance to protect the contents of your home from loss due to theft or fire. Read the policy carefully to see what's covered and what isn't. Disability insurance protects your ability to earn an income by providing you with a steady income if you're unable to work for an extended period due to illness or injury. If you want help managing your money, find a fee-only financial planner to provide unbiased advice.
Because the past is just a goodbye. Teach your children well. Their father's help did slowly go by and feed.
Que ahora es en español, son las 5 menos 14. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5h moins 14. 现在几点了？5点加14分。14 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Thanks for holding.
Yeah. I think I basically made the point. I hope I'm getting through to somebody, one person. And the message here is the dump on the bag is just one example of many things that are going collectively wrong in Jamaica. And so I understand getting upset at everything, every example that makes the news, but I think it's unproductive. I think we really do need to do some introspection, family-wise, home-wise, and try to correct it from there. Right? And let's not be pointing so many fingers.
We got you. Thank you very much for your contribution.
Okay, good.
Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Joan in Bermuda is listening, and she has shared a couple of pictures as well of her granddaughter, who is doing very well at school in Bermuda. She says, hello, Sir D. First day of high school for Amira today. The first principal of this school was Jamaican, Mr. Da Costa. She tells us. Thank you very much, Joan in Bermuda, for that information. And this one from Miss Del Mignot says, good evening, Mr. Dervan. These are some of the same parents saying how the books are expensive, but will buy a bag for $11,000. Mark Dunce. We have our priorities totally wrong. Worldwide, entertainment pays more than a nurse, teacher, doctor, police, says Miss Dell. Thank you, Miss Dell, for your message. Let's go to the phone lines once again, 876-922-4112-5. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Are you there? Hello? Lost that one. Let's go to another line. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hello?
Hello?
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for calling Both Sides of the Story here on Power 106 FM. Welcome.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Yes, I'm having an issue. I'm living in the Ottawa area, and I'm having an issue with my baby father. My child has been living with me for the past 4 years. I moved back down to Ottawa, and I'm getting death threats. He's involved with someone, and I'm getting death threats.
Well, straight away, that sounds like a matter for the police.
I went to the Ottawa police station and I reported it. They called him and warned him. That was about a week before last week. And then he called the phone again, keep on making threats, talking about Obi and all sorts of things. He will make me mad with ghosts and all sorts of things. So anyway, yesterday evening, I was at home and a police officer called me saying that my baby father wants to know what is happening with the child. I said to him that he could tell him that the child would be in school today. However, we are living in the Parrytown area. To avoid him, I went down to Ottawa Primary to get him enrolled there to avoid him and his family.
You sure you want to share so much information with
the person I'm living with? Is here. I called the child for us to do some activities from his textbook. And the person I'm living with, he and the child went to the front, and the father took him and put him into the car and drove away with him. I called the police. I talked to a district constable, and she said to me that they can't do anything about it. Both of us have legal rights to the child. So I need some advice. I need to know what to do.
It sounds like something that perhaps could be resolved in family court. The family court is on, what's that now? That's Duke Street. There's a family court there. That sounds like, and there's also mediation. But I would humbly suggest taking the matter to the family court, or taking it to the attention of the family court, because this is a family matter, and maybe there's a counselor or a senior person, an elder, who can talk to somebody, reason with somebody, share with somebody, and help to diffuse the situation. Because
Sometimes I'm here and he comes to the gate and he's shouting out the child's name and then he starts crying. He's always coming out there and quarreling and no one is troubling him.
And I mean, another possibility as well would be to have a word with the guidance counselor at that particular institution, and see if he or she could
Talk to the vice principal about the matter.
Mm-hmm.
Or issue the guidance counselor.
All right. Well, that's what we would suggest, so that some key people, just get some key people, make some key people aware of the situation. So, because sometimes when you have when this kind of information is shared, then it sometimes provides some kind of a not a cushion, but some kind of fencing.
When I wasn't here, he didn't care. He didn't care about him. Now I'm here. I don't know what this is for now.
Yes, well, I'm sorry, I don't have the contacts for any counselor, but it seems to the situation seems to require that level of intervention, because you can't keep going along this line or this road, because it's a dangerous road to travel on as it is now. Ideally, you want to make some decisions, whether are you going to stay together, or is there going to be some separation, and related matters.
Someone I've been separated for about 4 years, and I'm living with someone too.
Right. So you should, if you are ready to move on, then you should be able to move on. I mean, what would be preventing you from moving on? Hello?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Right. I'm saying, is there something preventing you from moving on?
No, I just need him to back off. I just need some peace.
Well, I really trust that you'll be able to get some assistance that would bring this situation to a normal level, some kind of normal level. Regrettably, not all of us are mature enough to make that decision, to say, this is it, and I'm off, or going a step further to say maybe wanting to share custody of the child or something to that effect. But whatever it is, all I'm humbly saying, because I don't have the expertise, that you see, I think what Delroy Chuck, the Justice Minister, has been, I'm just remembering, having some kind of a marketing or promotion or public awareness, more appropriately, public awareness for for our citizens, to say, take advantage of the courts that they have. In fact, they also have mobile services as well, where they drive into a community and engage in mediation and related matters. Maybe something like that, because the resources are available. I'm remembering now that I'm talking, that the Justice Minister has been talking about this a lot, and trying to get more people to use up the services of these which they can benefit from with these interventions. So I that's another suggestion. The Justice Ministry, if you can put through a call through the Justice Ministry, explain what your situation is, I guarantee you that you will get help because based on how it has been packaged. So feel free to call us back, but we really hope it works out. Really hope it works out one way or another. All right. Thanks for the call. Take care. Be safe. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Monday, the 11th of September, 2023. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, both sides of the story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
Don't you ever ask them why. If they told you, you would cry. So just look at them and sigh. And you know they love you. And you, I'll turn to you. I know the things that you elders grew by, and so please help them with your youth. They see the truth before they can die. Teach your parents well, their children's hell will slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams. The one they fix, the one you know by. Don't you ever ask them why. If they told you, you would cry. So just look at them and sigh. And know they love you.
Bye. You're listening to Poro 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News.